Hello again! We're back! Today we're going to talk about flooring in bathrooms, and specifically I want to talk about a hard surface flooring like a tile. And I'm going to preface this with I am in the Midwest. This is all going to be sort of Midwest related. So if you're in the Bahamas, if you are in Florida, or if you're in California, there's going to be a little bit of difference here because in the Midwest we have fluctuations. This week we were 98 and now we're at 53. So in the winter it gets really, really cold. In the summer it gets really, really hot and humid. So the flooring that I'm going to talk about is going to be specific to the Midwest. So now we got that out of the way. I should introduce myself. I am Melissa, the principal and owner of Timeless Designs. We pride ourselves on working with busy career professionals and custom builders. We're concierge service, full service interior design, so that our clients can go about their career, their lives, and without little interruption, we take care of coordinating all of the design, all of the implementation, all of the things. So we love doing that. That is our favorite thing to do ever. So getting started, bathroom floors, specifically tile. The first thing we're going to talk about is showers and curbs and preparing for that. And then we're going to talk about heat, in-floor heat, because again, we're in the Midwest and it's pretty cold sometimes, more than half of the year. And then we're going to talk about grout and some things to do with that. So the first thing is for flooring. We've talked about this in just about every other video. Scale of your tile is really important. So I have a bathroom we just put in little hex 1-inch tiles, and they're so lovely. And in that application, it works really well. It's not a huge bathroom, it's a decent size, but the way that it's been laid out, it looks really, really great. Now, if you have a little tiny powder room, just like we talked about on lighting, you don't want massive tiles, probably. Or if you have this huge, massive spa-like bathroom, you don't want little tiny mosaic tiles, probably. So reinventing the wheel for every single project is what we do as designers. We have, processes that every client goes through. But as a design, everything is new and reinvented. So all of the things we talk about are always, it's very specific to each client. It really just depends. So scale is really important. But as we're going to talk about, the first thing is prep for shower curbs and showers. There are many different products out there for waterproofing and for shower curbs. They can be a laid pan, they can be a tray pan, they can be, all sorts of things. And so the one thing that you really need to consider on any bathroom shower is the curb. Are you going to have it be a zero entry curb? Are you going to have a small curb? What is that going to look like? Because if you're going to have a zero entry curb, you need to have the builder and the plumber and your designer all have to coordinate so that the subfloor is prepared for your zero entry curb. Those pans slant because water needs to go downhill. And so you just really have to consider what type of curb do you want, or type of curb do you need? Is it a fully walk-in shower? Is it a roll-in shower? Is it just a small step? Because that's going to really play into how that shower pan sits to the floor, but then it also depends on how that tile is going to be installed for the curb and for the shower pan. So that is really a big thing, is figuring out what type of curb, if any, that you want, and how that's all going to go together. So topic number 2 is in-floor heat. being that I'm in the Midwest, it's a highly, highly recommended design feature to, if you have tile floor, to have in-floor heat. Now, some clients always wear shoes or slippers in their house, and so perhaps it's not, necessary for their particular application, but I always highly suggest having in-floor heat for tiled floors, because many months of the year it can be very cold, and the tile itself is not as warm as a wood or another flooring surface. So preparing for heat, Schluter has a product called Dietra Heat, and so it is the crack isolation. So when you put tile in, your house moves, and so that particular product takes the movement from the house and it disperses it in the product so that your tile doesn't shift and move and then you have cracks. So if you have cracks in your tile, likely it's because there isn't something to mitigate that movement in the tile, and so then it's cracked. So that particular product is really, really great because it gives you that crack isolation, so your house and floor can move, but yet the tile will stay intact when installed properly. Preface that. And then within that mat, you can lay the heat wire. So it's like an all-in-one product to put down before the tile. So there's several different thermostat pieces where they can be super techy and Wi-Fi and programmable, and then there's one that's just on and off. So that is prepping for heat. You need to consult with your electrician and your builder and your designer, because you're going to have that thermostat in the bathroom, probably readily available, whether it's a programmable or an on-off thermostat. And the tile installer and the electrician sort of have to coordinate this orchestrated, getting the wires, it has to be inspected, and, all sorts of things. And so the wire has to be there before the tile installer, or before the tile is installed, obviously. And so that is something to think about way at the beginning. Where is the thermostat going to go? Having the electrician run the wire. Okay, so grout, third thing. Grout can be super fun. It can be very subtle, and it can be very timeless and very classic. So we have a couple parts to this. So you can do contrasting grout, you can do coordinating grout. You've seen examples of this everywhere, where there's white subway tile and black or dark gray grout. It really depends on the application, what type of grout, what color you're going to use. I always specify a mold and mildew resistant tech grout that is really great. My reps, when they get new products in, they put it on different tile boards, and then they put ketchup on it, they put mustard on it, they drop their coffee on it, and they leave it sit. They see how well these products perform. Because if there's a pre-sealer in there, that's good. It's going to keep it from staining, and especially in a bathroom, mold and mildew resistant is really important for obvious reasons. Okay, so sort of part two to the grout is there are tiles that are rectified tiles, non-rectified, and then like hand-laid tile. There's others, but so rectified tiles mean the tiles are fired and then they are cut to size. And so if it's a 12 by 24, it's not actually 12 by 24, but if it's rectified, it's cut to those specifications. So what that means for you as a homeowner, when you're looking at tile with your builder, your architect, or your designer, asking, is this tile rectified or not rectified, means if it's cut to size and it's rectified, you can have little tiny grout joints. You don't have to have, you know, great big ones because they're cut to size. There's no variation. Now, if it's a non-rectified tile, it's just fired. And so there can be some expansion and some contraction, and they're not going to be exactly square like a rectified tile would be. And so because of that, you have to have a little bit bigger grout joints so that the tiles aren't like hitting in the middle. And so that's really important. And part of this kind of depends on the look that you're going for. So I did a bathroom floor that was a hand-laid terracotta tile. Super great, but that was the look we were going for. So we had bigger grout joints, but the tile is more wavy because it's handmade. And so, you know, having a rectified tile and really small grout joints is going to look a little more modern, a little more transitional. And if it's a little more rustic or a lot of character, like, you know, turn of the century kind of thing, then that's going to be probably more of a hand-laid, and it doesn't necessarily have to be hand-laid. It could be a look like that where it has a little bit of waviness to it. So those are the three things when you're looking at a stone floor specifically. You want to, for your bathroom, consider are you going to have a curb or not have a curb? Does that all flow through? And then prepping for heat, I highly suggest that. It's very toasty on your toes. And then grout, contrasting, coordinating, or how big a grout joints do you need to have. So next week, we're talking about showers specifically. So I will see you next week. We'll chat about showers, and have a great day.